Hey Oxen, did you get this Visual C from DreamSpark or?
No, you could have downloaded it from DreamSpark, but it just takes. It takes a long time. You have to. I mean, it works, but not all of us have the email because you can actually get it, but you have to like verify that you're a student.
You have a bulk registration code or something?
What?
You have a bulk registration code or something?
Yeah, but you need to be registered on their site in order to download it.
Yeah. So what's that? How you got this?
No, this is just the Express.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Console clear.
Console.clear. You have it in the booklet on the second page, I suppose. Yeah, Martin. Yeah. So.
Clear and then what's that?
Where is Philip? Philip, is this working out? No, this is interesting. Okay, however, let's
It's not.
close the door. Yeah, guys, so today we want to look at logical and conditional operators. And it sounds probably a bit confusing for some of you, but logic is what it's all based upon. So, and let's just summarize what we did last time. And what we did was that we created a new program that writes text on the screen. I hope no one has trouble to just write "Hello world" on the screen. Yeah. For those who didn't come previous time, I can just show. This is how you write "Hello world" on the screen. So basically, when you create a new project, Oliver, do you have a new project so you can share?
Empty project?
No, console. By the way, console application project is what we are working with this time. So, yeah, and console write line. So you probably know that console write line writes onto the screen. So if you stay after this lesson, then I will be able to show you in detail this thing. Okay, so last time we looked at how to print text on the screen. And we also basically, yeah, that's what I said. How we can manipulate the text and so on. But today we want to look at how we can use some logic and how it can be expressed in C#. And we mainly focus on if statements. C# and TOK, that's what I will compare to. So you're probably familiar to if, and, or, not, XOR. Probably not XOR that much, but you're probably familiar with and, or not. That's something we have in math as well. But the new stuff is probably while, for loops, and do whiles. That's something that would be new for you, I suppose. And first thing we want to start with is conditional operators. Basically, start with it. And you probably remember true premises, true conclusions, and valid arguments from TOK. That's where we get it from. But of course, in a programming language, this can be expressed much easier than in TOK. Oh, please. So it's easier than in TOK. So, you don't need to actually, it's really good if you can memorize these relational operators, but also if you open your handout, you have them on the third page. Then you have a heading here, relational operators. So if you sometimes need to look up, then you just go to this table and find the mean. And basically, as you can see, if you have two equal signs, that's the same as equal. But if you put exclamation mark and then an equal sign, that's not equal. This is probably more easy to understand. Less than, bigger than, less than or equal, bigger than or equal. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, we move forward. We will experiment with this. So the first thing we want to do is a program that will check the age. So I call it age checker. Can someone tell me what this program will be doing? Is it obvious for you, or do I need to explain it?
What's int mean?
What? This one? Yes? Ulla?
It's gonna say still alcohol is not healthy in juice instead.
Yes, and why?
Because it's over not 18, so it's
Yeah.
gonna take double.
So basically, we'll go more deep into this, but what this is doing, so here we have the variable age, which is equal to 19. This is the expression that we want to check. So is the age less than 18? Yes, Martin.
Can the age, the 90, can that be any number?
Yes, any number in the range of an integer. Any number.
It's a very large range.
Yeah, and we'll probably come into, we'll talk about variables, and then we'll go through like long integers and there are different kinds. So basically, if this expression is true, then it will execute all the statements inside these parentheses. So in this case, it won't go here because that's false. But of course, if this expression is false and nothing else is given, then it will execute the else statement, if there is one. Otherwise, it will just execute console read line. So as Ulla said, what we will see is only this line of code. Any questions? So let's try to write this. So I think you have it in the let's see. If you open your code reference and then you, I think this is reference 4 is on the 7th page of your booklet. So if you open that page, ref 4, then you will see the entire code. Yes?
Can I have one of those little...
Oh yes, of course, of course. I'll give you one.
What did you do wrong?
So, have everyone written this down now? I will, by the way, do the same thing. So, those who do not remember how to create a new project, we go to a new project. In the file menu, we press console application, went to the name of the project. I will call it checker. We press OK. And as I said on the previous lesson, this time we will only care about code inside this thing. I mean inside the main method. We will not care about what this is doing and basically just focus on this part. So, let's reproduce a checker. Give me some seconds.
Artem,
Yes?
the brackets, are they important brackets?
Uh,
Like,
do you need a new one?
because I don't this bracket and you change it all the time.
I have a bracket.
Yeah, it's good.
This is the print one. I mean, it's not like double sided. What kind of brackets? Did you
I
say?
mean those brackets, the width would be, yeah, the kind
These.
no, those.
These.
To the left.
No. Ah, these things.
Yeah, so,
They are important.
because we wrote differently and we got two
If you
results.
can write in different ways, but you include in the right.
Yeah, I mean, it's important where you write the text behind what bracket.
Actually, I mean, as long as you keep this structure, you have these brackets and you have, I mean, the same structure. I mean, C# doesn't care about the spaces,
Yeah.
so that doesn't matter. But it's still good to keep the code clean, to keep the code so every programmer can just look at the code and understand what you wanted to do with that code. So, yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
How do you do those squiggly?
Which one? The one that you mean which one?
All the gray and then 9, I think. 9
I think it was
and 0 and 0.
Arthur,
Alt Guru. Yes.
did you forget the first string?
Yeah. I will add it soon. I just quick. By the way, have everyone managed to do these things? I don't know, brackets or whatever they're called. If you press Alt Guru, no, Alt Guru, and then 7. Alt Guru, I know how to pronounce it. The right Alt, yeah.
It's different on Macs, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know how to do it.
Sorry?
You know how to do it.
But does it work for you on Mac?
Yeah, I
You just
got.
press Alt instead.
But I get mono. I don't get the.
Okay, guys, have everyone gone so far? So you have the code in the code editor. Are every one of you done with it? Or are done?
Seeing as it's not a window, so I suppose the console templates in C# Express are made to run in Windows consoles.
Yeah.
I guess
Try
not.
this.
Just close. Less space.
Why is it?
Sweet.
And then
It's another example way.
how you doesn't have 64. Oh, you know how to do this. Wait, it's shift.
You remember this one? We need to pass the application, because otherwise, as we have discovered in the previous lesson, is that if you just write this and do not write console read line, the application will just, it will execute this and then it will just close down, because there is nothing else to do. But this will say to the application to wait for user input, basically. Sounds probably a bit hard, but you'll get it. Trust me. So, play button, obviously. As Ulla said, still, alcohol is not healthy. Press enter and the application turns off. That was the point. So let's look at... So, yes, come on.
Does it matter what you write, like the red?
This,
Does it matter what
no, you can,
write in?
no. By the way, when you have these things here, and all the text that you have in red, this basically, it can be any text. There are of course some rules you have to follow though, but still, as long as you just type letters and numbers, then it doesn't matter what kind of text you have inside.
In English.
Yes, I think really, or other
Well, if
words.
it's Unicode, it could be anything, right?
What?
If it's Unicode, it could be anything.
Yes, that's true. I think there might be some trouble if you're using C++, then I would recommend to use other languages, as I experience it, yes?
How big differences are there between, for example, C# and the Objective-C we use for iPhone apps?
It's really a big difference, because C#, C++, if you talk about like the point of the language, C++ is more like the hardware language. And if you ask about the syntax difference, I can probably show at the end this slide the difference. But there are actually, C# is a mixture of Java and C. So
C# is basically high level.
C# is a high level language, so it's not the low level language that. And we don't need to care about how the memory is distributed, for instance. We don't need to care about that stuff. So let's go further. So, as I have mentioned, there are statements and expressions, but let's clarify this. A statement is an instruction. I hope everyone is fine with that. A method is a series of statements. So, you remember when we had these, I can show you. not here. However, in this age checker application, static void main is a method. We'll take a look at them later. But still, this is a method, and this what I have here, that's instructions, a series of instructions I have to the compiler. Oj, så statements end with a semicolon. Really important. A semicolon after each statement you write in C#. You can note that every time. Statements are executed in order as they appear. So basically, from if we can think like that, from top to the bottom, and basically from left to right. That's how they are executed. Now we come to the expression part. So expressions are statements that produce a value. So for instance, typically involve an operator. So when you compare, is age less than 18? That means if it's true, the value that we'll get is 1. And if it's false, we'll get 0. And you can assign an expression, the expression value to a new variable or test it. So as we did, int age equals 9. So obviously 9 will be the result. But, yes?
Is an expression like a statement plus condition?
No.
Yeah. Let's look at this example first, okay? I'll answer you, go back to it. So this is another program that we have to do. And in order to go through what is a statement and what's an expression. So can anyone point out, where do we have an expression?
Age. No, I shouldn't.
Or yeah, anyone, Philip. Or Ulla, or...
The first one.
Okay, actually, you're right. 19 is also an expression. So, but this whole thing is a statement. The red one, of course, that's an expression that produces either 1 or 0. So, true or false. This is a statement. We state, write this on the screen. This is another expression. This is a statement. And this is a statement as well. So, can anyone try to copy this and see what happens? Or can anyone just by looking at this code say me what it will be doing? Just tell me. Using 19 as the age parameter. Age value. Yeah, yes?
It will write, say, serve 1.
Yes, that's true. Because, can anyone say why? Yeah?
First we'll try if it's below 3, which is it isn't, then it will jump to the next, and it's not below 18 either, so then it goes to the...
Yeah. So basically what we are looking at now, we are looking at, so we are still investigating if statements. So we have a condition, if it's true, execute what's inside. If it's not true, see if there are other if statements, so else if in this case. And obviously this is not true either, so execute the else, which is serve wine. Have everyone, let's do the same. So it's, by the way, on the 8th side of this booklet you have it on ref 5 is the source code. So I'll turn this off and do the same. In page. Oi. Else if age is less than 18, execute this, and then else. I wouldn't say these keywords are so good. Is anyone done?
Ulla is done.
Almost. Or?
I am.
Okay, I'm probably too slow. So Okay. Have everyone any questions? Or have everyone written what I... No? Okay, then we can wait. If you are done, you can just press and you will probably see the... if we all have concluded. I'll just look around. Going. Okay.
Did you get to work? Console,
Oh yeah, it doesn't have a library. That's a problem. So this program, is it? It's like a general coding.
Yeah, they said check it out. They said mono is the like best for
Something assigned to you, or just
yeah.
But I have one
side
side
shows.
So we'll see.
So it is built for social.
Yeah.
They're not answering. But you can see what Oliver has. Oliver, is it okay if he call me?
I think you need to specify in the beginning which libraries you
Oh, there are mistakes here. So, and can you see clearly
which libraries you have used. It's done automatically.
Half these things. Man.
Do you understand?
So, yes? Okay, see you. Thank you. Remember to write it down. Yeah, see you. Have a nice weekend.
Yeah.
Then, right.
This is just
Why?
practice, I guess.
Yeah.
You could use this Windows.
So this yeah. They close like inside here. They have zero salt. Like inputs low.
What happens if age isn't,
but no.
if age is then you put this out here what will happen. Can you stack these else if age is above 16 serve something else?
Yeah, you
So
can
you can stack it.
You
Yeah,
don't
try
have
to-
this library that I'm not sure.
have others. Note, it's possible to have different else-if statements. So, what I could have done the same. I could have written, oh, if you can see where I'm at, where I am. Else if, and then I write, for instance, if it's a teenager, if he is less than 16 years old. Then, for instance, I don't know, what can 16 years old people drink?
Mountain Dew.
What?
Mountain Dew.
Well, I don't know how to spell it, sorry. Red Bull. Yeah, that's from 16 or 15. I don't know, bull like this or, yeah. Sir Red Bull, yeah, of course. Okay, how many are done with this? Yeah. So, obviously, what we will get? Sir Wine, of course. Yeah. Can I just ask you, have everyone, do you understand why it outputs Sir Wine in this example? Do you understand why? Yeah, that's the most important part. We can, yes?
What's the read line on the end that mandatory
The read line itself, it basically, if I would describe it technically, it passes the application and it waits for the user to enter something. So for instance, so basically first it checks, so is the temperature less than 10? Yes. Is the temperature less than 0? Yes. So take a winter jacket.
When would it do the else?
What's 5 less than 0? No, it's false. So execute else. So what we would, if we would have entered temperature 5, then what do we get? It's cold, take one jacket. Yes. Yes. Can everyone write this into the coding window and say when you get the result? Yes, of course. I'll just.
Things that I don't have in all the libraries. right line, it would go to.
This is my rational same
thing. Yeah, if they go in this, it would be, yeah.
Space. Did you create a blank project?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, and just go out.
Eric, do you think you could help? Yeah, Björn.
Yeah, the void, like in the red void, doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't fly. It's not.
So guys, Philip and Sebastian,
Right.
how's it going?
Doesn't have one.
No, take these. You have the examples in the box.
Where would you want this would be? Why don't you just
Oh yeah.
Okay. It's
This you can also find this in the on the 9th page,
that has
Ref.
to be because
8.
remember I tried
Yes.
adding system link, but it didn't work. No, so I guess all you can do is Google that.
Yeah.
How's it going for you?
It's a program code.
No.
Yeah.
I did some stuff.
Yes. Always listening to
So
and then you press F5. And if you want to, you can replace this -1 with, as we wrote in the previous example, convert to in 32 opening bracket, console read line, close, close.
It is. It's
semicolon.
Windows only thing.
I think I should write it in my window.
So it might be there's no. Either you have to use something else from there, or of course there's some Mac equivalent to it, which is check if there's a framework from there. I think there is.
What's the Marlina?
Martin now. I was helping Martin yesterday, so.
No.
Where's the code?
Okay, so you'll have to ask Arkham
Ah, here it is.
and ask him what's the Mac equivalent, and if it is something, then you'll have to.
Yeah, I'm
do it on
waiting
your
for
computer.
I'm waiting for my computer, so.
Yeah, but I mean, this is pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, that's good. I can put it.
How's it going, guys? Have you?
We have a little problem, Martin.
What's the problem?
It seems like console write is a Windows only command.
Try print.
Print.
Like, oh, by the way, try to use like system dot console. That's,
Okay.
that's actually strange because you have you have the sign. Let's see. So guys, have everyone done this? Let's. Yes.
How does it not have print?
Yes.
Sorry, Artem, no luck. It doesn't have print.
Aye.
You can borrow my computer after I have it.
Yeah,
So I should
hear me.
stay on.
Good.
I'll see.
So, attention please. So as you can see, as we learned from the previous example, if we write this piece of code, then we won't need to change the variable each time we execute the program. So,
Yeah.
right. So now we are free to enter any values. So 10 degrees, no jack required. Understood? Fabian, how is it going? Do you understand it? Or do I need to? Because I can actually stay here.
This didn't work out.
What's not working out?
You do that.
Yeah, and then you have to
And what? Then these can go into comments. So you can just erase these later. You don't have
We could change it a bit, because I mean it's waiting for the user to enter. So probably we can explicitly ask the user. Okay, I hope I spelled weather right. So we can do like this. We can explicitly write what is the weather. Now user wants be able to, yeah, so 23 degrees. No jacket. Good. Please, can anyone like ask if there is something that you don't get, because then I can explain it. Like, or does everything here seem to be logical? Why it occurs as it does? So guys, if you are done, let's have some theory. Logic inside C#. And now we come to the question. I don't know if Arthur asked me about like if we, or Oliver, if we can have like a really specific condition, like if x is less than 2 but bigger than 0 or something, like these kind of conditions that we are really precise, we are really specific about what we want to do. So you'll basically see that when you want to write and, that's the same as and, you'll probably see this. If you put like this, like 2, I don't know what they are called, that's the same as or, to the power of, looks like that, that's XOR. And if you put the exclamation mark, that's the same as not. You won't be needing XOR this time, I suppose, but especially and, or not. And if you want to, you can find them in the reference booklet. You can find them on page 3. You have the, let's see, where are they? Logical operators, you have a section there. So you can basically find them whenever you need them. Any questions about them? Yeah, let's go. Okay. Now something really new is introduced. When we have things like that, that's the same as a comment. That means whatever we write here will not affect the output, basically. This is just for us to like comment on what we have done and probably make it easier for other people to interpret what we have been doing. And now, please take a look. So basically what this thing is doing, if the temperature is bigger than 0 and if the temperature is less than 10, then write, it's called take a warm jacket. Yeah, that's basically what it says in this condition here. So, and thingy, this is less than, so basically checks if this is true, execute this line of code, otherwise do this. Is this clear for you? Can you, by the way, try to, or do you think you will need to write it down, or? Okay, let's go even farther. Because I have actually thought to do a bit more, but still. Do you think we have time to look at for loops?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so. So, what's the point of loops? So, when we need to perform a specific action, given amount of times, we usually create loops. I don't know if that says something, but basically, if I would like to do this, and as you can see, 100 times, it would actually be really inefficient to sit and write console write line 99 times. That's really inefficient. But instead, we can create a for loop in this case. And basically, if we would step into it, basically this will write numbers from 0 to 99. And as you can see, isn't it simpler to just write 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of code instead of writing 99 lines of code? Really, really efficient to do this. And if you need to know where we have the expression or the condition that is to be true, not to make this thing move around, it's here. So basically, int I, remember every time you write something like that, you all, like in the for loop or while loop, you always use letters I, J, or I, K, J. That's what's the standard. It doesn't mean that you have to follow it, but I, J, K are the, yes?
The semicolon following the I equals 1, couldn't you use two and signs instead?
Where do you mean? These things?
Yeah.
Oh, bye Oliver. Have a nice weekend. Yeah, see you. So, no you can't, because these, basically these semicolons, basically these semicolons are basically splitting up the whole thing. So, create an integer, I, which equals 0, and then if I is less than 100, execute this thing. So, write the value of I, and then that will while around while this condition appears to be true. Does this sound? So, but as you can see, I need to write I++ manually in this time. So otherwise, so be careful, because it might create an infinite loop. And what do I mean by an infinite loop? You can try to look at it. So guys, create a new while. E is less, oh yes, by the way, you need to add a new variable, int E is 0. So, if I is less than 100, basically console write line, you can probably say hello plus I. And then I equals I plus 1. Yeah, is this clear? This is the same thing. I equals I plus 1. So,
Is that the same thing as the...
I plus plus.
Does it matter? Did you do this now because you use a while, or was it not that?
You mean what kind of way I'm just expressing I plus plus?
Yes.
No, it doesn't matter. I just want to show you that this is basically the same thing as it's just typing I plus plus. That's the quicker way of doing it, doing the same thing. But as you can see in the for loop that I had, we can probably look at the for loop again. Everything was actually done for us. We declare a variable I, we assign the condition, and then we say that it should, each step it should add 1 to I. We could have changed. So I equals I plus 2 or something. It doesn't matter. In this case I need to do, I usually prefer to use for loops. I mean these kind of loops, because everything is like structured, really great on you. I mean, they're at some point easier and securer, because in a while you can, for instance, because look guys, if I forget, which you shouldn't do, if I forget to write I++, guess what will happen then? Basically this doesn't tell anything, but this thing, what I've created now, is an infinite loop. It will continue forever, basically. That's the point of it. So really, don't forget to write I++, or I equals I plus 1, or plus 2. So for instance, if you want to get let's remove, for simplicity, let's remove hello here. If I want to get all odd numbers, for instance, if you would like to do that, then I press I equals I plus 2. So basically, step through like each second number, and then I will get odd numbers. If, however, I would like to have the even number, no wait, these were odd, not even. But if I want to have odd, excuse me, if I want to have odd numbers,
Now you get every third number.
and I would say, are they? Oh no, they aren't odd. We can look at how to. But basically, if you
Can't you just put I, instead of 0, you put I as 1 and then you put I plus 2? Wouldn't that display all the odd numbers?
and I as 2, you mean? Yeah, I think this. You're right now. Yeah, great. Or you can have done it with the margin operator, but for this time, just the important part in this code is to show you that you can. It doesn't always need to be I++, or that you need to add 1 to each, like on each iteration. You can have 2 as a step, you can have 3. I mean, there is no difference actually, or it depends on the task. It's always like that. So we have done the for loops, we have done the while, and now something really interesting is being introduced. It's a do while, and really, I don't recommend you to use do while if the task actually, I mean, if you have such a task that requires you to create a do while, of course you can do it, but it's really sort of, it's not, I mean, use while or for each, or for loop. That's what you need to know how to use. But this, you can also try to write this down and see what will happen. Not such a big difference, but there is actually a difference between these, which we'll look at now in past. So, if you open page 11 in your booklet, then you have, please guys, I don't know, you can probably do this at home, just try to execute ref 13. So, if you would, I can show you. So, if you do this one, either now, I mean, no, not this one. If you do this code example, ref 13, at home, or have you done it already? Okay, so try to do ref 14 and see what happens. This is basically the difference between these two. So try to create a while loop and try to create a do while loop, and you'll see that there is a difference. And you can see it clearly now, I suppose. Yes? What?
Do you want to come up here and move?
Of course I can.
Okay, so it's like the temperature thing?
Yeah.
I tried to do the or thing, but it won't let me do it. Like, how would I do that?
So what are you trying to do?
I don't know, if you could like have an option where like, you don't say that or say that.
Okay. I think what we're going to do is take an else statement. So what the condition? If the temperature is, what do you need that?
I don't know if it's like for you to do anything.
Okay, if it's in between 25 degrees, so if x is less bigger than 5, okay. So now the temperature is bigger than 25. It's actually a chocolate. 30. And then you have n. Yeah, let's say n. Temperature is less than. Then it's all right time. Yeah, and then there's the right to.
So then if like we're doing those two, then it's like,
Yeah.
what if you want like two options? You're like, maybe like do this and the output be like do this or do this.
Like, if it's like,
If you're like,
or yeah, you can just change.
if it's just like bring us and you're like no, and then it's and then
You could have done like
Look, you cannot run like this, you can run or like this. So if the potential is either bigger than 25 or if the potential is less than 40, then it will do this. So try
So
to
you can do an or for like an output.
No. Guys, you can't create an OR for an output. So if you write console write line, no ORs, no conditional things. Or not at this stage. At least.